Hello students, I am Renu Matthew, Assistant Professor, MC Department, IISM Pune.
Students, today we will learn what is security policy. Before learning what is a security policy, let us understand what is a policy. A policy is a set of guidelines or rules that determine a course of action. So it is a course or principle of action adopted or proposed by an organization or individual. For example, you might have heard about a country's economic policy or maybe a company's HR policy. So these are what guidelines or rules the organization has set for maybe the human resource of the organization. Now let us understand, what does security policy mean? A security policy is a written document in an organization outlining how to protect the organization from threats including computer security threats and how to handle situations when they do occur. A security policy must identify all the company's assets as well as all the potential threats to those assets. Company employees need to be kept updated on the company's security policies, and the policies themselves should be updated regularly. So, a security policy should outline the key items in an organization that needs to be protected. This might include the company's network, its physical building, and more. It also needs to outline the potential threats to those items. If the document focuses on cybersecurity, threats could include those from the inside, such as possibility that disgruntled employees will steal important information or launch an internal virus on the company's network. Alternatively, a hacker from outside the company could penetrate the system and cause loss of data, change of data, or steal it. And finally, physical damage to computer system can also happen. So, security policy is a written document in an organization which outlines how to protect the organization from threats, including computer security threats, and how to handle the situations when they do occur. So, from this, we can understand that an organization's security posture is defined by its policy. Why is an IT security policy needed? We all know that information is a vital asset and requires protection from maybe unauthorized access, modification, disclosure, or destruction. And policies should provide a framework, and it acts as a best practice for the organization. Policies define and articulate the organization's commitment to protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information in an organization. It is a quality information security program which every organization has, begins and ends with a policy, and policies are the least expensive means of control an organization can have. So, the goal of having an organization information security policy is to provide relevant direction and value to the employees within an organization with regard to security. The aim is to address security threats and implement strategies to mitigate IT vulnerabilities, as well as defining how to recover when a network intrusion occurs. Furthermore, the policies provide guidelines to employees on what to do and what not to do. Let's understand some core reasons why organizations should have IT security policies in place. IT security policy define what is required of an organization's employees from a security perspective. It reflects the risk appetite of an organization's management and should reflect the managerial mindset when it comes to security. IT security policies provide direction upon which a control framework can be built to secure the organization against external and internal threats. IT security policies are a mechanism to support an organization's legal and ethical responsibilities, and it is a tool to attribute responsibility for compliance with expected behaviors with regard to information security. So, what should it include? For example, let us take a policy which is created by an organization to access a network resource will only be granted through a unique user ID and password. So it becomes a mandate that the organization network resource can be only accessed to those people who are having a unique ID and password given by the organization. So this will be supported by some standards and guidelines, procedures and practices which are set. For example, the standard which is supporting this policy will be that passwords will be of 8 characters long, and then maybe the guideline that can be that the password should include only one non-alpha and not the word or the password which you're using should not be a word which is found in dictionary. So it should not be a meaningful word. So this is an example for a policy which is set by an organization on granting access to the network resources. So we can understand that when developing a security policy, a multi-layered approach needs to be used, and the 9 topic areas which can be addressed, or which should be minimum 9 topic areas which should be addressed by policies of an organization should be acceptable use policy, confidential data policy, email policy, mobile device policy, incidents response policy, network security policy, password policy, physical security policy, and wireless network and guest access policy. So if you see these policies, you can see that these are the basic ones, like maybe like if you want to use some resources, what is the acceptable usage policy, and what is the policy set by the organization to keep the data confidential. So if you're sending an email, so there should be an email policy. Since people use mobile devices, so there should be a policy on how to use this mobile device in the organization. If an incident occurs, how to respond to that incident, there should a guideline should be provided. Then securing the network of the organization is important, so network security policy is built in. Then to give access to the systems, password policies, and how frequently maybe the password should be revised, and what is the guideline for creating a password. This all comes under the password policy. And all the physical assets, how it can be secured. You can have some physical measures also. So you have physical security policy. And finally, since now all the organization data is in systems and it is connected to wireless, you will have a wireless network. And when guest comes to the organization, if you want to give access to our network, guest access policy will be required. And one more thing we should keep in mind is that IT security policies should be revised, because over a period of time it becomes outdated. So it should be reviewed yearly and updated as needed. With this, we come to the end of this lecture. Thank you.